And welcome to Mimus, with me 54 Bear, doing something a little different this time. As you can tell, I have removed the lander because it was in the way. We built the furnace last time. I still haven't run any ores through it. I have plenty of ores that I need to use to make some advanced alloys, but I really don't want to deal with the off-gassing in this furnace. And I had an idea. So I've still got my original furnace over there, and actually that can do with being emptied. That one I will keep. I will let it run a lot colder and probably use it just for solder, because that can be sometimes when you're dealing with an advanced furnace with very hot gases, and the gases in here are fairly toasty, 2000 degrees. Yeah, that can get to be a bit of an issue. So figured, why not put a dedicated furnace in to squeeze the farts out of the rocks, which is what we're going to do. The sharp-eyed amongst you may have noticed that I have placed the furnace in its regular orientation. This is something that I don't normally do, and I think I have an idea as to how to make this a little bit funky. So unfortunately it's not in the middle of the frame. That's so I can still access the lever and the button and see what's inside it. But what I was thinking of doing is using one of these, the hopper. Now if I square this up over the frame, you'll see it doesn't actually line up, and I didn't want to mount the furnace any lower than that because I have plans for the chutes and stuff that are going to come out of the bottom. So that means we are allowed, using the hopper, to place it up a little higher. Means it will be a little bit funky, but we can deal with that, I think. Right, so I'm going to want some windows, because I don't know that the furnace, the hopper by itself is going to be enough. So I figured I'd give it some overflow capacity. So what I'm going to do is mount some outward facing windows. Like so, and that'll give me a little bit more capacity, so I don't have to worry about ores falling out the top of it. And it gives me this nice vertical stack type arrangement. All right. Never done this before, so I've got no idea how stupid it is. And the stock answer is very. Okay, that's all that needs. Might as well build up the windows as we're here. And obviously this will be fed by chutes from down below. So I'll probably put in an unpacker to unpack all the mining stuff, and just have the ores go up there automatically. Right, so just need two for here. So let's do this one first, like so, like so. So everything from there is just going to go in, and this is going to have to be open pretty much all the time, otherwise I'm going to end up with lots of half melted goo. Let's see, I probably don't have any glass. Yeah, I'm pretty certain I used all that up, so I will have to make some more, but we're a while away from needing any of that just now. And as far as the output goes, I was just going to put it in, I was going to dig a hole and do the usual thing with the cladding. Let's see, what do I want? I want this one. I mean, to be honest, I could just leave a hole in the ground, but well, let's see. I wonder what that would look like. Might be difficult to pull stuff out of here. Let's see if I don't have any oars here. All right, let's just go grab something. That goes in there. Should be able to reach it. I'll try that. If it needs to be neatened up, then I'll put in some cladding to improve it. Okay. So some more chutes. How am I going to want to do this? Well, I think nice and simple. That'll do. Don't have to have an output on it. That should work just fine. Alright, so everything that gets dropped through should automatically smelt, but we need to give it some gas, and this is where things get a little funky. Right now, I could run it from the hot gas. That is very hot. I don't want to do that. At some point, I'm going to have to run some gas into the furnace. I'll probably have to do some degassing here just to get some cooler gas in the waste. But part of me is thinking that I might want to pre-filter the stuff. Because right now I do have a little bit of volatiles. I mean, I can fix that by just chucking in some oxide. I think I do have plenty. So 72 moles, that would be, I don't know, 3 oxide might be enough. Let's have a look and see. Of course, the sun's up, so that probably will mess things up. So we'll come in here. 1, 2, 3. And because we're in a vacuum here in the shade, or this considers us in the shade, it's okay. And I'll do another 2 just in case that's not enough. Right. Let's turn everything on. This doesn't need to be doing anything at the moment, but I will turn it on. Actually, no, I will leave that on. Right, so if I stand here and just do that, it should go straight in. Okay, that should pump it out. Pump it into there. Right, so the oxygen's going in. Oh, it's going to need a lot more, I think. I forget how many moles there are on each lump. I think it might be 13. You know what, I'll just chuck in the 16. Just to make certain it's melted. Alright, yep, overdid it just a little. Alright, so we're going to be a little bit lean, i.e. too much oxygen. That's okay, next time I pick up some volatiles I'll just chuck a couple in there. But what I was thinking of doing is potentially pulling out the nitrogen out of this. Nitrogen doesn't hold its heat very well, CO2 and pollutants do. But, you know, may as well leave it in there. The important thing is not to, if you're using this gas to degas ores, you really don't want to have anything with volatiles in it. And if you can pull the volatiles and the oxygen out, then you can guarantee there won't be any reactions. So if you're degassing lead, for example, that produces nitrous oxide. When combined with volatiles, it gets hot. If there's a lot of it, it goes boom. Gold also will off-gas oxygen, and the cobalt off-gases volatiles, I think. Pretty certain it does. So that's where we are. So that's cooled it down a little, which is a bit of a surprise. I thought it would actually warm it up. That's probably because there's too much oxygen in there. Yeah, quite a bit. So I need to dump a lot of volatiles in there to warm that up again. But 1900 is still plenty warm enough. Okay, so I'm not going to do the chute network going up just yet. I think I'm going to regret digging this hole. So, yeah, I may at least do that and get that partially welded. So yeah, as I said, I may regret digging the hole, but I can always fill it up again. Right, so we will need a source of gas, and that will be whatever goes into the waste. So I'm going to have to degas something. What am I in short supply of? Well, let's do some silicon. Right, so swap the direction, set it to a lower value. 20 will do.
Power critical.
Turn that off, turn that on, just to bring some gas in. Turn it on. Okay, let's see if that's enough to, yep, nope. It's degassing it. Well, that's fine. That means it's going to cool the gas down. Now I'm going to degas the rest of the silicon whilst I'm here. I think the minimum temperature to degas stuff is about 400 Kelvin, I think. I would like to measure that someday.
Hunger caution.
Yeah. So when I pull the handle, all this is going to do is spit out the silicons in 50s. Right, so if I do all the silicon, then I don't have to worry about whether I did it or not. I mean, theoretically, I could add just a little bit more hot gas in there and turn it all into an ingot, but I don't want to do that just yet. Right, so at 420, it's still able to degas stuff. That's good to know. Right, this is going to fire out fairly quickly. So we will open that. And we'll use the unpowered drill to catch it. I am holding the left mouse button, by the way. Oh, filled it up. Okay, so that is all my silicon degassed. Actually 130, that is quite cool. That can go into the coolant tank, I think. Oh, wrong way. Crank that up. That's turned off, that's turned off. Let's put the drill away before I do something silly with it. Okay, so I'll turn the input down, turn this up. And because I've got the extra capacity in those yellow pipes in the combustion manifold, I don't have to worry quite so much about these pipes overpressuring. So that's giving me some cold gas. It's not going to be much, but it's some. And I can do same kind of thing, but with hotter gas into the waste tank. And once that has some gas in it, then these regulators will fill up the hot box, and that will give us the thermal stability for the furnace. Because right now it is cooling down pretty quickly. There's nothing in there, so the furnace is radiating heat. I don't think it's convecting it. Now it's radiating it. And back in the old days, a vacuum box was a perfect insulator. So you could go on Venus or Vulcan, create a 1 by 1 by 1 box, put a couple of radiators in it, and you could throw all your heat in there and it would just magically disappear. Those days are no longer with us. Right. Which is probably a good thing because it was very cheesy. Right, let's pump it all out really fast. Right, we'll leave a little bit of gas in there. Now, if I wanted to cool that down even further, I could just throw some more oxide in there. But there is going to be some oxygen in here. It looks like we got rid of all the volatiles. So all the volatiles burned away. So I will have to be careful, unless I filter the oxygen out of here, I will have to be careful that I don't add it to anything that has volatiles in the mixture, because then it will get hot, which is kind of the opposite effect of a cooling gas. Right, so the yellow pipes are empty. This is almost empty. That's fine. So hardly any pressure. So that little amount of cool gas is, to be honest, next to useless. Right, let's degas some other stuff. What I should do is grab one of these. Not that one. Yeah, and I'll put all the degassed stuff in here. Okay. Just put that away. All right, next I think we'll do some. We'll do the iron, I think. Get these out of the way. May not even be able to fit all of this in the mining belts I have. We can go up there. Oh, there's one there. There's probably someone screaming at the screen saying, "You're missing a bit." But, you know what, that's good enough. So, same process. We will pump some in. Output we'll set to 0. Input we'll set to 100. And we'll just pump a little bit in there. Helps you turn the furnace on. Right. Right. This may end up making ingots, but I'm kind of banking on being able to throw enough iron in there to cool it down a little. I mean, ideally, I'd like the gas in there to be around 600 Celsius. All right, so it's already cooled it down. It should continue to degas everything. Which I think I can stand here and just drop it. You have to be careful because sometimes when you do this, if you stand too close, the ore will bounce back and destroy your suit. I will not demonstrate, at least not on purpose. Was actually thinking of potentially rearranging this or doing something else with these chutes just so I can get more ores in that, because it is a very short section. You've got the straight section, 290s and this, so there's really only room for like 4 or 5 ores in there. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 really. Okay, that is actually fine. So we will shut this down, bring this up. And start pumping into the waste tank. And to deal with that, I will put this here. I'll wear this, and it should be able to catch all of the ores when they come out. Okay, looks like we filled that up. Yeah, we did. So we have 1 extra that is degassed. I'll put that in there. And put this in there too. Okay, so pressure-wise we have not very much. And yeah, it's not going to go up that much. So we would need probably to do a lot more degassing. I should probably just commit to doing everything rather than run it through this one, just so that I can get this furnace set up. But now I've got those, got the gas in there, the hot box is now filling. And that should keep the temperature very stable. Now obviously I'm pumping all the gases out of the furnace at the moment, but if I, let's see, let's put this one back, just get it out of the way. You know, I could now do some actual legit smelting, raise the temperature in here, and the furnace will radiate out to these pipes. These pipes are uninsulated, and you know that will help warm up the hot box as well. So we'll get it to a stage where it achieves some level of equilibrium, and then it pretty much stays there. I won't say forever, but
Hunger critical.
functionally it may as well be. In my last playthrough, when I set one of these up on Mimbus, it was pretty much the exact same design, albeit without the utility section and with insulated pipes in there. It was still very, very stable. It would keep the temperature within 1 degree for weeks of game time. So it was really quite surprising. I fully expect the devs will fix that, because you know these windows are basically acting as perfect thermal insulators, and that is probably not correct. Also not correct the fact that they can withstand temperatures of like 6,000 Kelvin, which is, that's the surface of the sun type of temperature. Best of my knowledge, there isn't any glass that will withstand that temperature. And I'm not even going to talk about the pressures. So, yeah. Alrighty. Now, as far as this one goes, we need to get some gas for it. So what I was thinking of doing is hooking it into the waste tank supply. And, but I do have to be careful that I'm not going to react with anything. I don't mind if this kicks out a few ingots, but I really don't want to do it on a regular basis. That's because when you are smelting, if you're using degas doors, you throw a degas door in there, it will not affect the temperature or the pressure inside the furnace. When you throw an ingot in, it cools it down. It won't off-gas anything, but it does cool it down, and that also lowers the pressure. So that can seriously mess you up. So ideally, I would like to have everything that comes out of the fart extractor here. I would like all of that to be ores rather than ingots. But, we'll see what we see. When you're standing down here and looking up at that, it looks like the bottom has been bent. Well, that's just the design of it. Right, so I'm not going to worry about putting this in an airtight thing. It doesn't have to be. I will put windows. Do I have any? Yes, I do. Or actually, won't be a wall.
Hydration critical.
No. Let's do it that way around, I think. So I have a wall there, windows front and back. Again, I like the idea of being able to see if anything is catching fire inside the hotbox. Not that there's really much I can do about it, but it's nice to know. Right, so those two will be enough to finish that front and back. Now, as far as getting the gas into the furnace and out, I'm thinking of using another turbo volume pump. So that would mean running the gas somehow along the back, probably along the bottom here, into this one, and do a loop back thing in the same way that these are, and you have that piping buried in here. But I'm also toying with the idea of having it temperature controlled, and I don't quite know how I'm going to do that. That will be for next time. So this is what we're planning. We are making progress. Tune in next time and I will see how much I've been able to achieve with this monstrosity. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe. All that good stuff. If you have any questions or observations, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I do enjoy hearing from you. I will try and get back to everyone as quickly as I can. And I'll catch you in the next one. 54 Bear out.